Swinging is the #1 thing we had to get right in making a great Spider-Man experience.
To deliver that wish fulfillment of being Spider-Man, you want to be able to use your webs to take you up into the air, to spin all over the city, leap, do a swan dive, almost hit the ground, and swing back into the sky. That's Spider-Man.
You don't think of him on the ground, you think of him swinging through the concrete jungle gym of New York City. That's the ultimate fantasy fulfillment of being Spider-Man, and we knew we had to get it right.
So when it came to swinging, we knew we had to be physics-based, right? The lines attached to the buildings, and then we start with a pendulum motion from there.
We never really wanted you to feel like anything really got in your way. It was all about building a sense of flow, fluidity, momentum. You know, if you slam into a building, you shouldn't just face plant, you should just start running right up it. And then when you get up to it, you should just be able to catapult over it.
We wanted to make sure that we had a simple control scheme that lets you sort of pick up and play and get pretty good at it. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure we had depth in there for an experienced player. So as you play longer and longer, you'll find those little connecting moves. You'll find the fact that if you wall run, you can whip around the corner either through a button press or even just stick input. You can also do something we call the web zip, which is a pull straight forward. So your lines go out and you pull, and that gets you some additional speed boost. And the point launch is when you throw lines to a particular point. Sometimes it's a ledge or sometimes it's a street lamp, and then you can spring off that when you get in. There's also the dive, which is a lot of people's favorite, big huge swan dive, and you kick into a swing right before you hit the ground. And so we want to make sure the controls were really accessible to begin with, but that the system had depth.
So when you can stick to walls and you're agile and you have the webs, then the city becomes your playground.
So when we first started building New York City, we knew we wanted it to be a superhero's playground, which means you can travel on all surfaces. And one of the biggest challenges we encountered were the fire escapes. A lot of the team said, you know, we can't have Spider-Man go through these fire escapes because it's going to be too hard. But what's New York without the fire escapes? So now, if you guys encounter a fire escape, you'll see that you can actually web tunnel through and between fire escapes, which is super cool. We bent over backwards to make sure that the player would have an unimpeded experience when they're traversing New York City.
The moment when we figured out that Insomniac really delivered on that web swinging, it was actually at E3. We thought, wow, this really feels good. This feels great. It's fun. It's almost therapeutic to just go and swing through the city and explore the city. But it wasn't until the players got their hands on it and we heard the reactions and we talked to them. And that's when we said, we did it.